to Souls on Tap. I'm Julianne Thon.
And I'm Jennifer Cross.
Today, we'd like to welcome Brandie Sinard, who is a palmist and tarot reader, an interpreter of symbols, patterns, and the stories our souls carry in our hands and cards. Through her work, she helps others uncover hidden truths, gain clarity, and step into deeper alignment with their paths. We're so delighted to have her with us today. Welcome, Brandie.
Hi.
Hey y'all, how you doing?
Great.
Very well. Hope all of our viewers out there are doing well. So Brandie, can you let us know, gosh, I mean, palmists used to be something that was associated with the gypsies of long ago. And you had to go to areas like Transylvania or southern Italy to find them. And that's not the case anymore. Tell us what you do.
Gypsies kept palmistry alive in the Middle Ages. They kept the tradition alive when it was very much frowned upon. And yeah, it's the oldest form of divination. It was already a profession in 2000 BCE. It's yeah.
So do you find that your tarot readings complement the palmistry that you do, or do you work together usually? Does your session consist sometimes of both?
Absolutely. I do a combination reading. Each mount, there's 7 mounts, and each one is represented by a tarot card. So that often comes out in the reading. Like someone's dominant mount, and it's like, well, this is confirmation that this is their dominant mount and their personality type. And yeah, it tarot answers all the questions that your palm can't, as far as relationships and the future, divine in the future. So yeah.
Can you give us the basics? Like you just mentioned mounts, and I know that there's the main lines and some other things. What are the basics of palmistry?
Well, I have a little, I don't know if y'all can see that. Can you see that? I also made a poster that I can get if you want me to
I
get it. I
love
made
it.
this for a palmistry class, and I still have it.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay. Definitely see that.
Yes. Now these are the mounts. There's 7 mounts, and that's really the name of the game right there, is identifying their dominant mount. Because if you identify the dominant mount, that says their personality, even health issues that they might have would be based around that. If they have a defective Mercury line and they, are Jupiter dominant, that means they would have digestive issues. If it were Apollo, that means they would have heart issues. So the dominant mount is the name of the game. And whenever you identify a dominant mount, it's the one that takes up the most space, is flushed. The fine lines gravitate towards it. But yeah, there's 7. Jupiter is right here, the index finger. This is the leader. Saturn would be the scholar. Apollo is the artist, and that's a little double mount right there. Mercury is the healer and communicator. Right here, I can show you on my hand, but is Mars, lower and upper Mars, and that's the warrior. This is the mount of Venus, the lover, and then the ones that I see the most in my line of work would be Luna, the psychic and the dreamer. So those are the dominant mounts, and there are 3 major lines and 3 minor lines. The heart line, the head line, and the lifeline are the 3 major lines. The Apollo line, Saturn line, the line of fate, Apollo line, the line of recognition, and the Mercury line, the line of health, is less common. It's only the 3 minor lines are visible in like less than 30% of hands. Like a lot of people will have the line of fate, but very few people have the Apollo or Mercury line. And if they do have it, it's kind of a big deal, because Apollo is the line of recognition. This means that they're going to touch the lives of many people. So it's someone whose life has like a broad impact. It would be, yeah, from your Apollo finger down. And the line of health, any kind of defects on that is like an important health indication. So, yeah.
Interesting.
And then,
So,
of course, you have the thumb, which is really important. Your will, logic, and emotion. And the balance of that says whether or not you're going to make anything of yourself, what you do with these talents. If you have an elongated phalange of will, then you just don't care, what anybody else wants around you. You're very strong-willed. You just do what you want to do.
mhm.
And if logic is elongated, like this is a little too long, it's out of balance, then it's someone who sits around and plans all the time, but doesn't actually do anything. They're big dreamers and planners. It's logic. And emotion, if that's elongated and out of balance, then someone reacts emotionally in situations. They, get too upset or they cry. Like they act out of emotion. It really shows you a lot about how somebody acts.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's the basics.
So a lot of individuals think of palmistry as fortune telling, those that don't know a lot about it. But I can see clearly that you're speaking of the palm as a blueprint to the soul. So generally, what can you tell us about how our hands reflect our spiritual journey?
It is a blueprint of your soul. Your palm is a reflection of your mind. It's written by your subconscious. It's
Mm.
it can reflect your spiritual journey because it says uh it has signs for psychic ability, like the Ring of Solomon. This is someone who's very connected to source. Flushing on the Mount of Luna. That's someone with a very active pineal gland because it does correspond to areas of your brain, your mounts do. So it's yeah.
Do
So
the lines on your hands change over time, like with just because of age or with healing and choices that you've made along
Oh,
your
absolutely.
timeline, or are they okay, so they're not fixed.
Oh no. You have your basic personality, but your hand does change over time. You can start meditating and your headline will grow stronger and deeper, like there's all kinds of things. You can absolutely change your palm, but you can't fool your subconscious. Like it has to be a real change.
sure.
Yeah.
So say I were to come into you for a session and I really wanted you to start by reading my palm. When you were when you would initially look at my hands, where would your eyes go first?
That's the thing. That's the fun part right there is where do your eyes go first? Because what draws your attention first is usually the dominant mount.
Mm.
If you see a crooked finger or a mount that's larger and flushed, that's where your eyes are going to go first. And that really is the fun part is what catches your attention. Because that's the name of the game right there. What catches your attention first about somebody's hand? And that's the most important thing you need to pay attention to.
So Julianne goes in to see you and you take her hand in your hand, is that right?
Right.
So this is a pretty intimate thing, holding somebody's hand. Are you feeling her energy? Can you feel anything that else from her besides her energy? And if so, do you do remote viewing or viewings of the hands? And can you feel other people's remotely just by looking at their hand? Like I don't know how you do it, like a picture or something, whatever. They must have to send you a
Right. I
picture.
can I can read from photos, but I must say I do like reading in person. It's
Mhm.
not as intense as it is in person. That's part of a palm reading in person is that you squeeze their hand, you test the flexibility of their hand because a flexible hand reflects a flexible mind.
Okay.
Squeezing it, a hand with some give in it is the harder a hand is, the harder the person is, the harder they're a hard worker. Which makes sense because you'd have more muscle tone in your hands the harder worker that you are if you're using your hands to work all the time.
Mm.
Um, the grade of skin is determined by the back of your hand. And so you feel that too. And the more refined the skin, the more refined their personality. It's like a refined character. So it
Okay.
it definitely is more intense in person, but I do read over photographs. And there's a lot of people that read remotely, and they'll say, "Oh, I want to see their eyes. I need a picture with their eyes visible." Well, I'm like that, but with palms. It's like, let me see their palm, because you could just feel the energy from it. It's just the same way as looking at somebody's eyes. Like you
There's
just feel their energy.
right. There's an energy exchange that sometimes is more intense in person. It just depends on what modality you're doing. So it sounds like palmistry definitely reveals personal traits of the individual, but will it also show contracts that people have made before they've come to this earth or incarnate at this moment?
Um, I think that your fate is a living, breathing thing that changes with every thought and every action. I really don't believe in contracts.
Oh,
Personally, I don't.
so you don't believe in fate then? Yeah.
I believe in fate, but I believe that it's a living thing that's changing in every moment. That if you continue your behavior, that something will, is coming up in your future, but you can always change it. It's nothing set in stone.
So fate is set in stone. Fate is something that's out there that no matter what you do, that's what a fatist believes, that no matter what the individual does, their fate is going to be whatever they've decided on, or the gods have decided for them, or whatever the case is. So if you think that this is a living and a breathing kind of an existence, then you're saying that we do have the power to change our lives and kind of correct maybe some decisions that we've made.
I do believe that. And I do believe that in an element of destiny as well.
Yeah.
You are destined for certain things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So can you share a powerful story? Give us an example of a client that really stands out in your memory.
I've had quite a few. Uh, my friend Nicolette, who was just interested in, getting her palm read. And I saw these signs for psychic ability in her. And now it's taken on a life of its own just because someone else could see it in her. And she's just killing it as a medium right now. Lyra Moon is her Facebook name.
Okay.
She's an excellent medium.
So telling somebody what you're seeing can like kind of awaken something in them, make them or kind of like spur them on to remember, is what you're saying?
Uh, yes, the Temple of Solomon stands on two pillars, affirmation and negation. And you're just to affirm that you also see it makes them see it in themselves.
Okay.
And it's like that was in you the whole time. I feel like I'm just telling people things they already know, but just having someone else see it too
Hmm.
is huge. It's life-changing.
Okay. I have another question. It may be off the wall. I don't know. But so when I think of hands, I also think of feet. Like your fingerprints, your handprints are one of a kind, and so are your footprints. In your time on the planet doing this, have you looked at anybody's feet?
You can also read feet. The
Oh,
the shape of your foot um are archetypes. There's the Egyptian foot, the Greek shaped foot. Like it does say a lot about your personality reading feet. So
huh.
yes,
Oh, wow. What is that called?
I have no idea. Just feet reading, I guess.
Okay.
It's called fetracy.
Feature no way. I know that palmistry is chiromancy. That's what you call that.
Right.
But I guess it'd
Wow.
be pedomancy. Just a
Petamancy.
foot.
There you
Yeah.
go. That's good.
That sounds awful on it.
That works. That works.
It sounds, yeah.
Yeah, we won't
Should
go
you
there.
put those two words together?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please
So
edit that out.
that is funny. So say I came to you and I said, this is a true story. I had emergency surgery back in April. And everything's good, everything's fine. I'm just healing, but would you be able to look at my palm and tell that I had been through some physical trauma or a surgery?
A lot of times, yes, it does happen, but there are also things that the subconscious does not record on you for whatever reason. Like I've seen someone that have a long marriage that didn't show at all, and then have a lover that shows up on their hand. It's things that transform you that are recorded. So if this surgery had a major impact on you, and like it was traumatic for you in a serious way, I believe yes, it would show.
That's really interesting. So are you channeling this information? Are you looking? Do you have guides that help you see what you need to see in order for your client to actually be healed for what they've come to you for? In other words, when Jennifer and I do hypnosis, the client may come to us, for example, and say, well, this is what I want to work on. But as their higher soul take us to where it needs to go in order to heal, sometimes it doesn't have much to do at all with what they think it does. And we're going down a completely different path. So are you channeling information? Do your guides or angels or goddesses of palmistry, do they come in and help you?
Yes, I'd say so. I'd say anything that comes to me, this is my little method. So remotely, I'll get the photo of their palm, and I put on this guy I listen to, Healing Vibrations. He's got an orange cat, plays singing bowls. And I listen to that, and I burn some incense, and then I write an essay, and it just comes out like that. And anything that I see and feel in that moment, my head's just clear. I put it down. So anything that I get, I write in that essay.
It
Any
seems
and
like
everything.
just from looking at you, and you have like this beautiful headdress on. You've got very, I'm gonna call it witchy kind of makeup on. Maybe it's Celtic looking to me, I guess. Um, um, the whole atmosphere around you. Are you connected to elementals or natural spirits also? What is it?
Absolutely. That
Mhm.
that's my main thing is nature spirits, elementals, what you call them. I have a spirit tree that I put a face on because he needed a face. I just call him Tree. But this tree knows everything. It's wise. And if I need guidance, that's who I go to is my tree.
Mhm.
And he hasn't steered me wrong yet.
And so what about like the antlers? Are you calling in the spirit of the deer?
Well, I'm also an artist. I paint. I have read poems in like tourist areas and do charcoal portraits, characters, charcoal portraits, stuff like that. So I'm very visual anyway. But if you're reading poems in an environment like that, you want to draw the eyes to you because if you can get somebody's eyes, you get a client. So it's self-expression. It's how I feel on the inside. Like anytime you get dressed, you you want to dress like you feel. You want to
Right.
dress, you want to look on the outside how you feel on the inside. And I put this on and I say, that's it. That's me.
Okay.
So it doesn't necessarily, because it's a really
This is what my
interesting.
soul looks like.
Okay, so I was just going to ask you, does it symbolize something in particular? Were you channeling something when you were creating that headdress?
Um, I I've always loved deer. I remember my grandma rescued a baby deer off the highway. Its mother had been hit, and she kept this deer and um, fed it with a bottle, and it lived in the house with the dogs. And then one day the dogs barked and ran it off when he started like growing antlers. But this deer would come back. And so from then on, every time we saw a buck, we'd be like, oh, there's Buck. And since my grandma passed, it's just kind of something that reminds me of her is deer. I'll see a deer and I'll say that's her spirit coming back to me. So it really does. It's more to connect with her. That's the antler thing, is like my connection with my grandma.
That's
Uh,
interesting.
Can
I like that.
can you read a poem and see that there are spirits with that individual right then and there?
There are signs for that. Vertical lines on the Mount of Venus that run like this, that's a sign for ancestral bonds. For you can count back like the rings on a tree, mother, grandmother, it goes all the way back. Your hand reflects the maternal bond.
Mm-hmm.
So it absolutely, you can see all kinds of stuff like that.
Can you see things for the collective? Like, do you look at a bunch of poems in your readings and then say, oh, this is what's happening on the collective? Or can you look at one person's poem and say, um, there's a spot on it that is a Gaia line or something like that? Can you make that connection between the macro and the micro?
I mean, it's inherent. The seven archetypes is the seven planets of the ancients. It's the same archetypes that have shown up throughout all human history. And most people are a mix of two or three of them. But this is so this there's nothing new under the sun. No matter what changes as far as technology, people are basically the same. There's always been the warrior. There's always been the leader. There's always been the psychic. It's not only ancient, but it's eternal and will always be.
Let's move into the tarot readings that you do. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how that assists your clients into making decisions or telling them more about who they are, etc.?
There are things that your palm can't answer, or that I find lines for love to be quite unreliable because it's written by your subconscious. There's no hard and fast way to do it. It's like some people can have an effect on you in a short amount of time, and some people don't. And there's no way to read that. So I do a lot of love readings and relationship readings and things like that. And uh my mom read tarot. She was a tarot reader. So I remember being a little kid and going and snooping and watching her read, and and I always knew it was something sacred and serious. These people were showing up needing answers, and I knew it was important. But yeah, I love tarot. I've grown up around it. I read tarot for myself. I love it.
How often do you read for yourself?
Just when I really want to know something.
And so the cards relate to the palmistry.
They
Are
do.
and so do you use particular cards? Because there's the planets involved as well as the moon, celestial points. Um, do you use specific cards or do you use the entire deck?
For each archetype, there's a tarot card associated with it.
Okay.
For each one, there's like a particular one associated with it. But I do read with the whole deck, and I read inverted cards. So it's like, I
Mm.
think reading just upright is just reading with half the deck. So I'll read an inverted card. Um, every archetype has a high and low polarity, and every card has a high and low polarity. So there's nothing it doesn't cover. Uh, but yeah, each archetype has its own, like Luna, the high priestess, and Mars is the tower, the destructive force necessary for creation to happen. And Mercury is the magician. Apollo is the sun card because he's the god of the sun.
Mhm.
Uh, uh, the Mount of Venus is the Empress. Saturn is the world, and Jupiter is the Wheel of Fortune. So
Oh.
and there's deep reasons why these are connected to these archetypes. Each card is the message within it is the core of that archetype. Like it is the core of it. The high priestess being Luna the psychic. I mean, that's the perfect card for that. But yeah, these are like there's a consensus on that, on which archetypes are associated with which cards.
Interesting.
I was wondering if you could do something for us and for our viewers. I was wondering if you feel comfortable and do a reading for the collective right now, because my gosh, what's going on in the world right now? Everywhere we turn, there's a country that's in disarray one way or another. And some of us are
That's always been though. That's always been. There's always a storm on the horizon.
right. It's
And
just that we weren't necessarily aware of it because we didn't have things like the internet to tell us what was
exactly.
going on in Indonesia or tell us what's going on in Ukraine and Russia right now. So we had to depend
And
on
can you
newspapers.
imagine being alive during like uh Alexander the Great or Attila the Hun or the Black Plague and not having the internet? And it's like, oh, I've heard tell of a disease that kills you in a second. Like uh, that's amazing. There's always been stuff like that. All I can think at this moment is, oh my God, everyone is going to see this. Everybody's going to see me, and it's going to be on the internet forever. So.
Well, Jennifer and I gave up on that a long time ago. It is what it is. Uh, you're
I
here.
never had any social media. I never had any until last December. I never had a Facebook page. I never had a computer. Didn't even own a computer. I lived off grid with my first husband for years. So this is very new to me. I'm still, yeah, I've had people uh, tell me for a while now, you need to get a website. You need to start doing this online. And when I tried it, it's like, wow, it's like a whole nother dimension. It's a whole nother world.
It is. It
It
is.
really is. And it's changed me completely. There's a level of anxiety that I have now that I did not have before. It's like a river of energy running through your house. It's
Yeah,
Yeah.
Your
it's
phone is a portal for energy,
we've
and
had
Yeah.
it's noticeable.
we've had to learn what to do with the internet, what several of us are going to have to learn to do with AI.
Oh, that scares me worse than anything is
The
AI.
internet and AI both can be really positive things, and I believe that it's going to help us transform all of societies around the world, and I think it's going to be a wonderful thing. And hopefully, if individuals believe that, then that's what it will be. But there's always the dark side to everything, so we kind of have to be careful, I think. But I understand what you're saying about social media. Jennifer and I've had many talks about it, and especially recently, I've noticed I can only be on social media for a certain amount of time, and then I start getting a knot in my stomach, and
Exactly. It's like
that's
like
my
a
sign.
dread panic knot.
Right.
And I'll be seeing all this bad news, and
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
overwhelming. And
Yeah.
I'm in a unique position to really see the difference going from nothing to being full on. I got an Instagram now. I got a, Facebook. I mean, it's night and day. And
Right.
so I'm really, that's what I'm working on right now, is trying to balance that.
Right.
Trying to, because it's a black mirror. It's whatever you put in it, you get out 10 times more. Like,
Hmm.
it's wild. It's a whole nother animal.
Hmm.
It is.
So how can people get in touch with you? People that would like to book a session with you, Brandie?
I have a website, SmokyMountainOracle.com.
Okay.
I have a Instagram page and a TikTok and a Facebook, Smoky Mountain Oracle on everything. So if you type in Smoky Mountain Oracle, you'll just see my face come up all over the place. Like if you just Google me,
Okay. That
it's
sounds good.
Brandie Sinard, Smoky Mountain Oracle, Smoky Mountain Tarot and Palmistry. So
And
that'd be
Brandie,
great.
if you could leave our listeners with one message about their own hands and the wisdom that they possess within them, what would that be?
I would encourage anybody to learn palmistry. I'm a very naturally shy person, and that's why I learned it, is because I tend to self-isolate. I'm a very just naturally anxious, kind of shy person. It opens you up. It opens up your world. It gives you a way to start conversations with people. You don't even have to speak the same language, and you can see who somebody is at their core. I mean, I would encourage anybody to learn it, and um, I would encourage anybody to have their palm read, because I may feel like I'm just telling you something you already know, but just having somebody else see it in you, sometimes that makes all the difference.
Validate,
And
right?
that's my favorite part of this job, is telling people what their gifts are. That's the thing I love the most, is like, where do you fit in the world, and what you are meant to do? And I mean, there's been so many situations where like I met this woman who had been a teacher her whole life, and she had two lines of security. And I was like, well, this means that you have two passions that you follow. And she said, I've always wanted to be an astrologist. I've been like secretly obsessed with astrology forever. I'm like, you should pursue that. And just someone seeing that, like, is enough. That's all
Mhm.
I got to do, is just show you yourself. It's just like holding the mirror up. And all the health stuff with it, like, that's pretty life changing. Like if you have a really tiny pinky nail, that's a sign that you were born with a congenital heart defect. There's all kinds of health indications on your hands. And I'm not saying go to a palmist to diagnose, but if a palmist says maybe you should go to a doctor, like maybe
Right.
that could help somebody. If
So
Yeah.
it's the same if you learn palmistry and read your own hand as it is if somebody else is giving you that confirmation.
That's the first poem I ever read, was my own. As soon as I read my own, it was like, I can't stop. I want to see everybody's poem now.
But
And
can you really be objective if you're doing yourself? I mean, I think that would be difficult for me to do.
there's some like scientific cut and dry things that just, I think you can be objective. I think so. I mean, because you're just sitting there in your own mind, reading your own self. So you can't lie to yourself.
Well, I just think that sometimes, like, if you want something to happen so bad in your life, you just can't stand it.
Oh, like you want to see something that's
Right. And
not
you're
there.
frantically looking to see if there's a line that matches,
Well, you will probably also see things that you didn't even know were there. And it's like, you may not see what you want to see, but you'll find something just as miraculous. is what you wanted to see. I've never seen a palm. I've never seen two the same. And I've never seen a palm that was like, this is a talentless schlub, you know? Like there's something special about every single person. There is no one that's just blank and nothing. Everyone is special and unique. Every single person. And has their place in the world and their contribution to the world. It really does show you where you fit. It's where you fit, and every single archetype balances the other. Each balances the other one. So yeah, it has definitely changed my life. Like learning palmistry changed my life.
And the thing that I love about you, Brandie, is you are so authentic. I think that you have found your love and your passion in your life, and you believe in this. And I think you continue to follow that path authentically. And that makes me very happy because I love people who are sincere and authentic. We talk about that on the show. The
I
importance
can
of
feel your
Thank you so
excitement.
much.
Yeah.
My nervousness, like, ugh.
No, don't worry, you're doing great. So that said, thank you again so much, Brandie, for being on our show. I hope that the viewers can take away a lot from the things that you've shared with us today. Viewers, please go to her website and check Brandie out. I'll put all of her information in the description box. So thank you to everyone who is here today for tuning in to Souls on Tap. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll never miss a drop of wisdom. We would love for you to share in the comment section any thoughts that you have and add any type of healing modalities you'd like for us to showcase, because remember, we are here for you. So until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and we'll see you on Souls on Tap.